Okay, this is one of the most famous tactics happening with Emmanuel Lasker, one of the world champions. So I'm going to pause for a second, try to think about the puzzle we have here, and let's talk about it after the pause. Okay, so it's white's turn to play. We are playing white, and this crazy move, which was done by white, is basically sacrificing his queen. He moved the bishop to f6, which looks like a crazy move because basically white is losing his queen, but then comes this amazing which leads to one of the most famous tactics, which is called the windmill tactic. And what happens here is that basically because the king is almost forced to move only between those two squares, the bishop and the rook cooperate together to basically decimate the black army. And let's see how. So right now, there's a check. The king must move to h8. Again, the discover check. Okay, the king again can only move to this square. Another check. The king moved here. Now the reason why we want the king to move to h8, so we can start decimating the black army. The king is again in check. The king moves back. We move back the rook. Okay, the king is again in check. He must move to h8. We move to the queen. Again, the discover check. Okay, now if the black is smart, they're going to try to move here, but then we're going to check again. Now they're forced to move over here, and then we move to decimate the queen. Even if they move here, we take down the queen. So look at how many pieces white captured with this amazing windmill tactic. Probably the most famous execution of this windmill tactic. And it happened, and one of the focuses of this channel and of our platform is to try to understand how we can find those tactics in the middle of a game. And the thing that I see is the fact that first of all, a very important element is the fact that the rook is right in front of the king. Right? That's always an element that should trigger your thinking about what can I do about that. Okay, also we have the bishop, and if the bishop would be here, would be able to check the king, and because the king is so restricted with those two squares over here, the g8 and h8, it's definitely something to check in terms of creating this amazing windmill tactic. So that's why it was worth for white to sacrifice the queen, because the amount of material gain was basically unbelievable, and white easily won the game.